Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
Now let me tell you something. This game really makes you feel like a ghost. Now let me tell you something. Ubisoft should stop milking Assassin's Creed and shift their focus on Ghost Recon. They also need to bring back Splinter Cell. The gaming industry is so starved for a good tactical military stealth game that Kojima had to bring back Solid Snake for Death Stranding 2.
No! That is not Solid Snake!
Let me tell you something, Shampoo McTavish is back again. Again, I should note that Shampoo McTavish is my own completely original character that is definitely not based on any other fictional character. Activision are just some dirty time travelers who steal my ideas. Anyway, something happens in the fictional archipelago of Aroa which causes it to go dark from the rest of the world. Shampoo McTavish alongside many other Ghost Recon operatives fly into Aroa, but John Bernthal has a different idea. Every chopper gets shot down and the Punisher kills my least favourite ghost. Holt is the only one that is confirmed to have survived and spends the entirety of the game in recovery, whilst Midas is completely missing. Let me tell you something about the AI squad. Just like Wildlands, you can have 3 AI squad members. Breakpoint gives you 3 new squad members which also seem to be able to make impossible shots like your AI squad in Wildlands. Does it break immersion? Yes, but is it useful? Of course it is. I would recommend playing most of the game with the AI squad turned off like I did, especially if you're a fan of solo stealth games like Metal Gear Solid and Paw Patrol on a roll. Let me tell you something about the gameplay. The gameplay has major improvements from Wildlands. You have a wheel for items now rather than switching one by one to whatever item you want to use. You get some cool new gadgets like slingshot drones and throwing your poop at the enemy. You now have to heal yourself if you get hurt rather than holding your position in a safe spot and waiting for the red on your screen to go away. You can use the environment to camouflage yourself from enemies now, which would have been an amazing gameplay feature in Wildlands. Considering the game was called Wildlands, you would expect a feature like that to be in that game, but at least we got here in Breakpoint. Gunplay is pretty much the same as Wildlands for the most part, with some improvements that you will barely even notice. However, in typical Ubisoft fashion, if it ain't broke, just break it. For some reason Ubisoft wanted to have levels and ranks on the weapon system. Isn't Ghost Recon meant to be, for the most part, a realistic tactical military shooter? It's a good thing they let you choose between realism and bullshit. Now let me tell you something about the story. If John Bernthal wants to tell you something, or maybe even ask you something, then you better let him. If he don't, he will start his own private military company called Sentinel to take over an archipelago located in the South Pacific Ocean. Someone must have showed him that TikTok where they're in this pact for life and decided that he wanted to put some respect back to the name of wolves. Now let me tell you something, wolves, they're fierce creatures, apex predators, top of the food chain, man. That's probably something John Bernthal would say if he wanted to tell you something about wolves. The story has something about transhumanism, where there is a conspiracy for machines to replace humanity. So basically they're trying to create a doomsday suicide cult type of thing so that robots can take control of Earth. John Bernthal's character, Cole Walker, is merely a pawn in this bigger plan. Before he dies, he basically tells you that you can't stop Project Wonderland. I played this game on and off for a few months after my Dead Island 2 review, so I kind of forgot most of the story already. The story wasn't that memorable. In my opinion, Wildlands had a more memorable and well written story, because it was simple to understand for the most part. Breakpoint tries to be complex like Metal Gear Solid but fails, and it kinda just leaves you feeling underwhelmed for the most part in the end. There are a series of missions called See No Evil, Hear No Evil and Speak No Evil, which are missions where you take down Walker's top operatives. These missions are kind of pointless because they could have just had the boss fight happen when they first show up, rather than having to find and locate them after their initial appearance to kill them. Look at this shit. He is right there, but the showdown between Shampoo and Silverback isn't until later in some old bunker. Coincidentally, this game takes place in the year 2025 and the game came out in 2019. Do you know what happened this year? Trump got the one big beautiful bill passed, which is not just a bill for no tax on tips or overtime. Artificial intelligence companies like Palantir are being given a massive advantage with the bill. All of this is just to bring us closer to the dirty commie globalist agenda of mass surveillance. Do you know what other games Ubisoft made? Watch Dogs. Do you see where I'm going with this? Sometimes Ubisoft games are not just slop, but visions of the future. Speaking of Palantir, let me tell you something about Israel. Just like Wildlands had two main enemy types, Santa Blanca Cartel and Unidad, Breakpoint is the same in a way, except a part of the same enemy force as Sentinel. You have your regular Sentinel soldiers, which are like your Santa Blanca soldiers from Wildlands, which are quick and easy to eliminate. Then you have the Wolves, which are like your Unidad soldiers from Wildlands, harder to kill and a pain in the ass if they detect you. The island of Aurora has choppers and drones flying in the air to try and find you. There is a big flying drone called Azrael which you can easily evade detection from by going prone on the ground and using camouflage. If it does detect you, then good luck kiddo, you're gonna know what it's like to be Bonnie Blue with 1,000 men. If you want a massive open world tactical military game with realism, then you've got it here with Breakpoint. The gameplay is fantastic, but the story is a massive step down from Wildlands. If you want to get both aspects, Wildlands is better since it has a better story, and the gameplay in Breakpoint is just a few small improvements for the most part from Wildlands. I gave Wildlands a 9 out of 10, but for Breakpoint I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. The gameplay and open world is fantastic for anyone looking for their fix of a tactical military game, but the story, as I've said earlier, just leaves you feeling underwhelmed once it's over. The story is really forgettable, and all I really remember after finishing the game about a month or two ago is that John Bernthal is the bad guy and some weird stuff about machines taking over the world. I remember much more of the story and characters from Wildlands than I do from Breakpoint. Wildlands is also more grounded in reality, with it being about taking down a drug cartel, whereas Breakpoint is just you trying to stop what is basically a cult trying to speed up the process of machines enslaving humanity and controlling the world. Thanks for watching, and remember to like, subscribe, and don't trust the government. Christ is King.